Okay, so just a little brief announcement before I get into the formatting. Well, two announcements. We're going to go out to Kettle House's new facility there on the Blackfoot. We are sharing our wind turbine with them. So when the new college building went in, we had to take the turbine down. We did that through 242 last year. Kettle House is interested in having that. The architect who's designing the new building is not interested in having that technology on his campus. We were informed that it was the wrong color, too old, too ugly, and that if we wanted it there, it had to be below the roof line of his building.
Oh, nice.
So we were looking at, explaining to the world why we've got a turbine sitting in the shadow. So anyway, it's not going to be there.
A little enclosure wrapped around it.
Yeah, a little enclosure so you can't see it. Never mind. But yeah, that's where we live in. So we're nimble and we're going where we're wanted. Now, where else was I going with that? So that's announcement one. Announcement two, within the shell, as promised, I have uploaded 2 exams. There are 3 exams. You only have to take 2 of them. The third one's just you may or may not do, so don't worry about it. Yeah. So the National Electric Code. Lee Curran is taking the 2 exams right now. I gave him the electric code and I gave him the Spellman. These are the PDFs of the portions of those texts that you'll need for the exam. Lee is verifying that everything's in there. Sometimes like, oh, there was a page missing or the question, so he's going to verify that, but I think 90% of those are dead on and ready for you to go. They're open right now. They opened 27 minutes ago. Yeah, and here comes the lecture that I'm going to email you to. What's that?
By the end of next week?
The deadline is the Sunday after the practicum. You got 2 attempts on one. You've got 3 attempts on the other. My suggestion would be to go and breeze through the the PDFs. Go into the exam. I've got it set up so you can see the whole exam on one page. Copy it, paste it into a Word document, study it, get the answers, and then go in and ace it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So don't have the clock ticking, burning away while you're sweating bullets with the Moodle shell. You understand? I mean, that's what I would do. Just hack the system. Oh. Hack the Moodle. Oh, and then I guess we're hackathon this Saturday, 9 to midnight. I'll try to be there for part of it.
He's not in here. I don't know what his name was that gave it.
Will Halliburton, Hackmaster. He kind of disappears, reappears. Interesting fellow. But that'd be great, though. You'll learn something. We'll see what happens. Also, Sunday I was going to have a Shuffle the Library Books Human-Powered Future event. The library has, the law library has 20,000 volumes that they're getting rid of. It's a quarter-mile worth of books.
Wow.
And they were faced with a fairly substantial landfill fee, so we were looking at other ways to do something with it. And I'll just show you one quick little thing that'll get in the formatting.
Rocket stove.
Rocket stove. But yeah, a self-consuming rocket stove. You build the stove out of it, it just eats itself from the inside. I love it, yeah. Oh my gosh.
You burn it in the rocket stove.
We're not allowed to test for years.
You got 30 pages of this copy really quick.
So these are just examples of what people have done with books in the past. There's all kinds of cool artwork. So the so you've got a children's library there. You've got sculpture in larger places. There's people who've built chairs with it, tables, cabins, houses.
We could have our own Burning Man out here in the parking lot.
The Burning Man, yeah. If they're gonna refilm World War II, you could have the Nazis, the Nazi scene. We could do that one. But this is more what the library is going for. Is more architectural work. So there's Isaac Humble works for Mark Vandermeer here in town. Bad Goat Products. So they'll take kind of low value lumber and turn it into works of art. Okay, so Kettle House, exams, I did the state of the program. Now, formatting, as promised. So this is a report from last year. They got her up to, 10, 15 pages. You think, okay, you've got 4 team members. If each person can crank out 3 pages, a couple figures, a couple images. It's not that bad. Sounds like a lot, but you got a team, so if you can write 3 pages in the next 8 days, half a page a day, you're good. So let me just go over some of the formatting, because I know the content's going to be there, but in terms of like putting something together, that's mainly what I want to cover. So kind of cool to have on your cover page, some kind of photo. It might have been better to actually show the team instead of the technology and then me standing in the background like a dork with. But get artistic, just think of something that's kind of cool, fun, that just captures the overall. And if you want to put a collage or a montage or whatever, maybe your data's over here and maybe a photo that you took of your circuits there, but just something that really captures the essence of your project can be on the top. Team members, title, nothing big. Okay, do put an executive summary in the front. This is something that, and these get published and read. When I submit my report to the National Science Foundation, these reports go into the archives in Washington, D.C. And then when Congress is deciding whether or not to refund the National Science Foundation's Advanced Technological Education program, everyone's fighting for federal dollars, they'll say, well, what did Missoula College do with the money? Well, it's right here. This is what we did with it. We built these technologies, wrote these reports, on to the next thing. So whether or not this is going to be read on the floor of Congress, like Sarah Palin complaining about the bear mating habitats, or how the fruit flies do it, or whatever, I don't know, but just write something. You hear this, right? The politicians like, why are we spending money on this? So anyway, just make it sound good, professional, and and I'll tell you if it's well written overall. I'll tell you that. Another thing, in the executive summary, this you are part of the Applied Computing and Engineering Technology Department, so put some numbers in your executive summary. Throw in, what was your theoretical maximum efficiency? What was the amount of power that was going to flow through your system, and how much came through? So show me some numbers, show me some data. Don't spray the thing with a bunch of equations, but just, imagine someone sitting there and reading their stock portfolio. They're going to want some numbers. Or, somebody reading their energy bill. They're going to want some numbers. If you do the economic analysis, put the simple payback in. Like maybe you're going to pitch this as your invention and you want to get it funded so you can replicate the technology, and someone's like, well, is this art? Is this technology? Is it going to make me money? Put that in. Like, we expect that with our budget and the price of energy right now, et cetera, we're going to have a payback of what. So put those numbers in too. That's why put that little comment for these guys. Okay, couple little tricks of the trade here. Not such a great idea to have your list of figures on the same page as your executive summary. The way I'm going to fix that, I'm going to fix it with 3 fingers, 3 fingers, and I'm going to put. And I wish I could point the. I can't quite point the keyboard down, or the camera on the keyboard, but I'm going to put my thumb on the. Yeah, I'm going to put my thumb and finger on the Control-Shift. I've got the cursor right here. I'm going to do Control-Shift-Enter. So if I just hit Enter, it would move down one line. I don't know what happens if I hit Control-Enter, and I don't know what happens if I hit Shift-Enter. But if I hit Control-Shift-Enter, I get a page break, and I didn't have to mess around with the mouse or the menus or whatever. So now I've got the list of figures. They don't have a table of contents, But let me just show you how to put one in really quick. Okay, so right here, background. I just got my cursor. My cursor doesn't have to be at the beginning of the line, end of the line, middle of the line. It's just on the line. Heading 1.
Okay.
Just clicked it, right? Now, I know I've got other sections in here, so I'm not going to touch anything else but page down, page down, page down. Get my cursor here. I don't even have to go back up to heading 1. I'm just going to do Control Y. Control Y is the opposite of Control Z. They're right next to each other on the keyboard. No, they're not, but they're right next to each other in the alphabet. So anyway, somebody at Microsoft Office was thinking back in the day before the mouse, and Control Y is redo. So if you want to do it again, Control Y, Control Y. Works, you know, so if you're making some very repetitive editing in your document, Control Y is your friend, because you know Control Z is already your friend for undo. Page down, page down, page down. Again, Control Y. Some people are like, Layton, how do you write papers and grants so fast? Because I know all these fancy little keyboard tricks, and I'm not fishing for the mouse and the menus and all that. And they must have a results section here too. Control Y. And so you'll have all these sections.
Is this version available on Moodle, Brad?
This version of what?
Of this paper? Because they have some photos that could be useful.
Yeah, I'll upload this to Moodle, yeah.
Because they have some ability.
Yeah,
which you
yeah.
can use to put in.
I think it is. Control
I think
Y.
there was one, but
There was one, but it wasn't that version.
I don't remember.
No, I think this is the graded version. Yeah, this is, yeah. Okay, so I just did Control Y on all those guys. Yeah, and then the table of contents should be here. You know what? Let's just even make list of figures, list of tables, fine. If you want a list of equations, actually, I wouldn't do that. That's why I said not sure why this is appearing in reports. I didn't ask for a list of equations. Don't put one in there. I'm just going to leave it for now. The whole point here is just to show you how to make a table of contents. So I'm also going to do Control-Shift-Enter. Now I'm going to go up to this page. Let me just show you where I am overall. Will Halliburton, just in time. Hey, so here is here's the cover page. Here's the executive summary, sort of page 2. Table of contents is going to be page 3. So now, and this is always a little bit of a, I can't remember, it's insert, references, table of contents, there we go. They change it in every single version of Word, but here we go, automatic table, fine, pick a different one. But now, I didn't type anything. As you saw, all I did was go in and do Control Y down through the document, and all the things that were headers are headers. If I change something later and the page numbers change, right-click, update field, update entire table. Nothing changed, obviously, but it'll give you your pagination. So that's your professional way to do it. Another thing you might consider doing, right here. So before the background starts, the background is really page 1 of your document. Everything else is sort of the previous page. So if we put our cursor right here, another handy thing, another little 3-fingered trick on the keyboard, Control-Shift-8 will turn on the meta characters. We'll turn on the white spaces. So I'm going to put my cursor right here. Control-Shift-8 shows you where my page breaks are. It'll also show you where the section breaks are. I'm about to put in a section break. So I'm going to get rid of the page break. Actually, I don't want to do it quite that way. It killed my background. But instead, I'm going to go ahead and insert. Actually, I think it's in page layout. Page layout, breaks. What I want is a next page section break. And the section breaks are going to allow me to change my pagination. So everything before the section break is going to be Roman, lowercase Roman numerals. Everything after is going to be Arabic numerals. If I do this right. So now I can get rid of that page break.
What's the advantage of having this little trick in your trade?
Which one?
When you're changing the language from Arabic to...
It's just standard, you know, crack open a textbook, and usually page one is not the very first page you see. Page one is usually at the beginning of chapter one, and before that, there's usually the preface or the acknowledgments, and it's usually just numbered with Roman numerals. So it's just a standard, yeah, just a standard. Because that way also your table of contents won't start on page 5, it'll start on page 1. So let's just check that out. So right here, if I click down into section 2, so I know I'm in section 2, which is actually where I want to be. Let's scroll up, still in section 2. All right, there's section 1. Luckily, right where I need to be. So I'm going to go down to section 2, and I'm going to unclick link to previous. So now I've got section 2, that link to previous is gone. This guy, I should be able, yeah, so see how that's, when I highlight it, it's got that gray background. That means it's a field. It means that Microsoft Word is keeping track of those numbers for you. You don't type in your page numbers 1 through 15. You put a field in it. It knows what page it is. Now, if I right-click on that, edit field, update. Oh, here we go. Format page numbers. I do not want to continue from previous section. I want to start at 1. There we go. Now, if I go back to my table of contents, I should be able to... So remember before it started on page 4. Update field, update entire table. List of figures is on 4. Well, didn't work out exactly the way I wanted, but let's just go ahead.
This is riveting, but can I make a quick...
Oh, yeah, go for it. Well, yeah, come on up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, go for it. Give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes, that's all I need, 5 minutes. Lightning talk. I need 5 minutes from you on Saturday morning. I sent you an email.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I'll be there. I'm not sure about how early Saturday, but I can be there Saturday.
So you can't do a lightning talk intro with Shelley and then John Smith out of E-Cycling. And
I will do my best.
Me and Harold.
I will do my best. I will be there Saturday.
Okay.
I will be there Saturday.
That doesn't count on my 5 minutes. Learn org mode and LaTeX. You don't have to deal with any of the stuff he's teaching you. It's in the mousing. There's way efficient, more ways.
I agree. Do learn LaTeX. Yeah.
But org mode, you can even export to HTML, LaTeX to. I write everything in org mode, and you can even do embedded executions, embedded graphs, and then export to anything. Text file to HTML to WYSIWYGs if you need to. But hackathon Saturday. It's e-waste. Yeah. I'm a bit nervous. I don't talk in front of people. I'm a computer programmer. I didn't discover people until I was 30. 5 minutes. We're going to do an unconference in the morning. It'll be a really interesting. City council members may be there, mayor may be there, talking about the e-waste problems of Missoula. Not problems, opportunities. There's massive opportunities I see. And then we're going to have a free lunch, followed by kind of a carnival with. There's going to be a room full of e-waste that if you guys can find it. I got some prizes. There's a lot of things we can do with that. So I'm just bringing the e-waste. So bring your soldering irons if you want. And then I could use a couple scopes, but that's another story. And then we're going to do I guess it's really more about e-waste, but there's also going to be a bunch of workshops. So we're going to be teaching workshops on Perl, Python, Awk, TypeScript, JavaScript, Common Lisp. Whatever we can think of. And if you guys want to teach something on any of these things you're doing, that's a good way to learn. You can just send me an email. I can even put you on the schedule. Or you show up and go, oh, I really want to talk about one of my projects that you guys are doing here. Or even bring your projects on Saturday, right? And then mingle, because there'll be, it's really getting a lot of people in the same room so that the universe can put the right people in the same place. like last time we had like, oh, I have a mapping question, and then we have the mapping expert of Montana that walks in the room serendipitously. So it's just like, you know, you need an electrical engineer there, there'll probably be one there if you need one for your project. So come get some information and exchange, and then I'll leave this. So, and then also go to the website, Missoula Civic Hackathon, sign up for, you just send me an email and I can pull you in. If you have a GitHub account, I'm really interested in you. That means you're already way ahead of the rest of them and I can pull you in quicker. So that's it. So Missoula Civic Hackathon. And William Halliburton on Facebook if you want to connect. And it's kind of a men's group basically. It's like we're just a bunch of men meeting in my office trying to think about things we can do. I mean, like, okay, waste stream. Here's an example, a good example. I got a box of lead acid batteries. First off, I got a box of lithium ion batteries. You can play with.
We know you do.
50 pounds worth. But also like WRTs, I got about 30 just out of the simple waste stream of 1 month of those Linksys. So you put OpenWT on them. I mean, I got some trailer parks out there that really could use internet. They got a couple of them that do, but we can mesh it. So just things like that. One of the projects are going to be OpenWRT, right? Reflashing those and then trying to play with mesh networking. So.
Thanks, Will. All right.
Thank you, Bradley.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a crypto party with pizza Saturday night. If you want to learn about public key encryption, how to like use Tor, surf anonymously, how to do messaging. We'll do some key signing parties.
Sounds fun.
Encrypting out your keys on a dot matrix, so there's no actual record in the.
Oh yeah. Cool. Thanks. So my talk just got hacked by the hackathon. Perfect. Anyway, so you know, and I used to use LaTeX all the time, and it is a superior editing version. But when I was in grad, it's LaTeX. So it's and you'll notice it. I mean, you might even see it. A lot of textbooks are written that way, and it was written before there were mouse commands and all that. But we're kind of stuck with words. So yeah, there was a. I don't know. I was out on the phone talking with Kearns.
I didn't get nothing. He's a whole level different.
Format page numbers. So there's your
Like the commercial guy for Micro Machines.
And I would go ahead and center the page numbers too. So anyway, guys, so play around with that. Put the section number in, change the page numbers, and it'll be professional looking. You can turn off the meta characters with Control-Shift-8, just toggling them. You can actually see that little backwards P, that paragraph symbol, lighting on and off. Okay. So what else? So I showed you the table of contents. Well, let's see, why is the list of figures, oh, it's still page 4. Well, at least you know how to change it. I'm not going to micromanage exactly how you do it, but make it look the way you want. Okay, background. This is exactly how I want to see your references, just whoever the author was. In this case, maybe the actual person was not named, but if it was a U.S. Department of Energy report, came out in 2014, that's exactly how you want to that is not MLA. That is called Harvard. The two types I use are Harvard or Vancouver. Harvard is author year and Vancouver is numbered. You can also use IEEE if you want. IEEE has their own standard. It's also numbered, but it's just a little different on how the authors are listed. So use Harvard. That's my favorite. If you want to number it too, that's fine. The reason for using Harvard is so that you can actually see who wrote it. You could like without digging back through the references. You're like, oh, it's a DOE report. I think I trust those guys, right? Don't put a period after Harvard. Or Howard. There's no reason for that. There's also no real reason to reference the same. Like if this whole paragraph is Howard, you can get rid of that one. Howard's at the end. Whole paragraph. Fine. Good. That's fine. Two paragraphs, the same time. This might, if this could be one paragraph with Harvard or Howard referenced once, fine too. Okay. Little background. If you see something in your report that's green, it just means to add it. If you see something that's red, it means subtract it. And I'll kick these reports back to you. And if what I would like, even after the grades have been submitted, I'd like you just to make the changes. They're not going to be terrible, but and I'll even, and I have in the past, I've uploaded corrected versions just so that the National Science Foundation sees that I am doing the technical and the formatting corrections. And do not think this stuff doesn't matter. My 2008 paper, you guys remember Leighton 2008 energy densities? The Canadian Atomic Energy Commission just read the paper, like the director read the paper and was going to put it on his website as a reason to use nuclear energy instead of fossil fuel energy. They're digging through there and they found an error, and I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, I think the way I wrote that was an error. Because the error that I made, I said that gasoline, I'll admit this publicly, it's fine, I mean, I'm not going to hide. I said that the energy density of gasoline was 4 times less than the energy density of oil. Well, they're about the same. They're within an order of magnitude. The difference, though, comes in the efficiency. If you burn a gallon of oil or a barrel of oil and you extract all the heat from it, heat water, heat air, whatever, and you gain access to that heat, you could have very close to 100% efficiency, right, if you're just extracting the heat. If you refine that oil into gasoline and stick it in your automobile, only about 25% of that energy moves you down the road. The rest is heat and friction. So that was the discrepancy. And they're like, you can't, your number's wrong. Well, yes and no. I mean, the energy density depends on what you're using it for. So anyway, thank you. Mea culpa. But but don't think the numbers don't matter. I mean, they really do, and the technical details matter because once these things are out there, they're out there for forever. Okay, but as we know now, there's time to go back and make the corrections and dial in on the exact right answer. All right, now this is a big deal, and I don't know exactly why there's just a 2 here, but. In fact, this is the first figure in the document, and it should be labeled as figure 1. So I'm going to get rid of that. The figure on the cover page isn't numbered. It's just the cover page. So what I'm going to do here is go to References, Insert Caption, and well, I'll go ahead and put this in. It's already found a figure 1 somewhere else. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it's just this one. So I'm gonna kill that. Come back down. Don't get dizzy. I'm gonna right-click on that. Update field. Now it's figure 1. Another speed key. I'm gonna do Control E, and that centers it. Another thing I'd like to show you is if I go here to Home. And I change that to black, and I make it 12-point font so I can read it, and maybe even change it to, I don't know, Times New Roman, whatever I like. I can then go up here under Styles. There's typically a caption style. Update caption to modify selection. So now, every time I put a caption in, it looks exactly like the one I just put in. And they're automatically numbered. And they'll go into that list of figures if you want. And you don't have to mess with it. It's automatic. Okay. What they failed to do here is in their text, they didn't reference the figure. So, what they also didn't do. Oh, volume flow rate of moving water. This is about where they say, yeah, this is about where it should be referenced. So insert, cross-reference, choose a figure, just want the label and number, figure 1, there it is, insert, close, done. Okay, so that way so these things will take care of, if you add figures later, it does it, automatically. Okay. This is a really good looking equation. We actually looked at it yesterday with the microhydro team from this year, and we determined that, in fact, this equation is, I know you can't read it, but it is the same as the one we did on the board, just in a slightly different format. We did a little bit of units analysis and dimensional analysis. If you're getting, confused about exactly where you are, just make sure your units and dimensions work out. That's, rule number 1. You can't have energy on one side and power on the other unless time's thrown in there somewhere, obviously. Okay. So good looking equation. Also notice that you're reading this equation just like a sentence. The theoretical maximum power input for each system is found via P max equals 1/2 times A tech over A river times rho times V squared times Q pub, comma, where pH is the maximum. All of the variables need to be named first time you see them. So this is very well written, and that's why you don't see any marks on it. They forgot their units, watts, so I put that on there. You write it out as watts, that's fine too. The reference is good. They actually used one of their engineering technology references, the Petrozula from 213, clutch, way to go. They used Engineering Toolbox. That's another great online reference for pulling equations. I do want to see the variables italicized, especially if you've got the letter A as a variable. If it's in italics, then you know it's a variable and not the word A. So same thing here, and all you have to do is shift left arrow, control I. And then to do the subscripts, I'm just doing shift right arrow, and then you just toggle between, I've got my hand on the controls, and I'm just hitting equals plus. And that's how you toggle the subscript. Control shift plus toggles the superscript. Don't say using the above equation. What I typically do in here on the equation numbers, I'll do it really quick, is insert no, sorry, it's weird. I don't know why. It's under view, references, developer, endnote, page layout, design. It's under that quick parts, cross-reference, oh, gosh, it's this weird thing, isn't it? You can insert a field, and the best way to number your equations is with a sequence. And after sequence, you just type like EQ for equation. Hit OK. And the number 5 popped up. I think they already used that in there. I didn't type the number 5. It just automatically does that. So then, if I want to make a reference, say this guy, insert bookmark, and I'll just call this Theo Pulley. The reason I put the underscore is bookmarks can't have any spaces in them. Add it. Now, let's say I wanted to reference Theo Pulley. Insert cross-reference. I'm not doing a figure this time, I'm doing a bookmark. I've got Theo Pulley, bookmark text, number 6 pops in. So then, as you add more equations, you're not having to manually type the numbers in. Huge time saver. So the equations are labeled as a sequence, then they're bookmarked and they automatically update. Okay, so that's your formatting. Everything else looks pretty good here. Nothing to, good numbers, good description, nice drawings, really nice drawings, good electrical drawings. That should look familiar. I'm going to turn Control Shift 8 on really quick. Another big pain sometimes, put the figures in And I would even recommend having a figure type. Normal's okay, but you want to have that paragraph return after your figure. And you want to make sure that the figure itself is kept with next. So don't go in there. I see this all the time. You start going and you start hitting returns like crazy. Oh, I'm going to format my paper by hitting a bunch of page returns. Well, it doesn't work because you go back in and put something else in. Now you got this big blank space. Do not format your paper with page returns. Control-Shift-Enter will get you a new page. Section break will get you a new page. Keep with next will make sure that your figure sticks with your caption. It's as simple as clicking that button. It should be centered, big enough to see. This guy, so right here, table outcomes, I've been messing with this thing. So and the table, keep with next. Table now follows its actual contents. I didn't have to like enter, all that stuff, yeah. The table should be referenced, it's not, but make sure all of the tables, all the figures are referenced. Discussions, recommendations, works cited. Nothing wrong with this at all. So, good report. I just did a little bit of formatting, kind of high-level stuff. Questions at all? Good? 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 Okay. John Pickens and I are going to head out to Kettle House 3. Tim's going to stay here. Jonathan Bowe's going to stay here. Is Wally just coming back? Or?
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's coming back? Okay.
He'll be back here at 3 o'clock, or?
Yeah, I'll be back here by 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at 3 o'clock, you guys are giving us an update to the class on your project?
Yep.
Where you're at, how it's going?
And if anybody like is seriously considering a career in wind or that, if you want to send one member from your team, you have room in your truck? A couple guys, couple 3 guys can come along. So, thank you.